This is a podcast miniseries presented by Modular Media. Little Worse Than a Pod, Little Better Than a Cast was performed in front of a pre-recorded studio audience.
Hey, all you hip cats out there, welcome back to another episode of Little Worse Than a Pod, a Little Better Than a Cast. I am the Vacuuminator, and I am joined by the happiness daddy on the street, Boingo Rider.
Don't call me daddy.
I'll do what I want, and what I want...
Now recording.
You're rude! Rude, Craig! Craig, you have no class. You have no hit. I'm upset.
You want to start over?
I need a second now. I'm frazzled. Hey, all you hip cats out there, welcome back to another episode of A Little Worse Than a Pod, A Little Better Than a Cast. This week we're going to be discussing the third episode of Wandavision, and in order to do that, I, the Vacuuminator, am joined by the most happening daddy on the street, Boingo Rider.
Don't call me daddy.
Hey man, I'm gonna do what I want because it's my vibe, and what I want to do right now is enjoy the hip-hop little bunny we got to our left, Bustercore.
Again, I exist, and that's just going to be a recurring joke for when I talk.
Oh wow. It's like a subtle acknowledgement that you've been added into the multiverse of characters of our own that we have here at Modular Media.
The modular verse. The multi-modular. I don't know.
I saw
We
a
could
thing.
We could go full Grant Morrison metaverse.
Yeah. And I was going to jump into just saying I saw a thing that somebody was saying low key, this is starting us into a new saga. The Infinity Saga is over. Now we're in the multiverse saga. And I was like, yeah, let's do that. But we're here today to discuss the third episode of WandaVision, which is 70s themed and also features the arrival of the twins, which is much earlier in the show than I was expecting it. But we're gonna go ahead and go over some of that. Let's go down the row and give some general thoughts right off the bat. Buster, what did you think of this episode?
I liked it, but it's my least favorite one, and this is a dumb personal reason. Pregnancy episodes give me anxiety, so it's
Really?
I am horrified of pregnancy episodes, and this. I know this was fine on its own, but I just it was a bit anxiety inducing, and just personally, it's not my favorite sitcom trope. I understand why they did it, and they did it well, but it's a bit off putting.
I can see that, especially with the fact that they are purposely doing it in a way to make it more off-putting, so that probably extra gives you that itch. You know what I mean?
It's a fucking magic pregnancy.
Yeah. Oh God.
At least this wasn't Miss Marvel's fucking pregnancy.
I was just about to mention the Avengers number 200. I was just about to mention that and just how awful that comic is. So
you have to invoke that.
That honestly, I blame Linkara. Every time I think of magic pregnancies, I think of Avengers 200. Dang it, Linkara.
Linkara, you bastard. Except I love you. Except you're okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
But since you went ahead and started talking, Boingo, what are your general thoughts on the episode?
I liked it. This is a great kind of turn of the first act.
Mm-hmm.
It keeps up the veneer just enough that you go, oh, but the veneer is broken down a lot more in this episode than the last two combined.
Especially the ending.
I feel like it's going to be a gradual thing. In the last episode, it was the last 4 or 5 minutes where they broke down the veneer. This episode, it was the last 10 minutes. They're probably going to keep breaking the veneer earlier and earlier until in the finale, there just is no veneer.
I think the reason behind that, at least visually from a mechanical storytelling point, is the closer we get to modern times, the more that they can't rely on the veneer of sitcom tropes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or the veneer of the past. Ooh, thematic connections.
Nostalgia, relying on the past, running away from contemporary problems. But we are now in color, and this is a more realistic version of the world. Everything looks a little bit more real than it did in the last two episodes. And now Herb is starting to kind of freak out a little bit. So is Agnes. So is everybody. The doctor was even like, we can't escape.
Can't escape from crossing fate.
Is his name a reference to anything? Because he's Dr. Nielsen, and I was like, I don't feel like they'd have given him a specific name if it wasn't a reference. Oh, he's typing.
I'm checking real quick.
Because like the only thing I could think of was Nielsen rating.
That might be it.
Okay, you guys are more sitcom experienced than me. What is the first? What is the opening referencing? Like the opening, because
One part Brady Bunch, one part Partridge Family.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I hadn't seen Partridge Family, so I was like, "What is this?" I get the visuals, but what is this song?
Come on, come on, get happy.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Wandavision.
Also, I love just how many 70s outfits we got to see them in during that intro.
Yeah, and the one outfit for the rest of the episode, but like fashion show.
I'm right now on the frame where it says "and Vision" and it's this like wonderfully tacky apron, and it's the best thing ever.
It's so good. Speaking of Vision, man, that guy was styling in this episode, and he had some of the best effects in the show so far with that fucking $6 million man ass super speed effect.
Oh yeah, that was really good. Yeah. I was surprised that nobody nobody paid attention to that, and I was like, wait, they got here fast. But I was like, oh wait, that's just the tropes.
And then the doctor's like, it was like we were flying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but no, like there's that, but like there's also like little bits and elements of other 70s style sitcoms like Mork and Mindy.
Yeah, because Mork and Mindy had a lot of crazy sci-fi effect stuff.
Yeah. Although I just assume that's just part of like that's just a reference to just the characters just being able to do all that stuff. Really, I don't know.
Yeah, and I did like how they sort of showed the progression of the effects more in this episode, where we still had some of the same like stuff moving on its own via wires or like reversed footage of it coming apart, but it looked a little smoother this time. It looked a little cleaner. And then there's just shit like the spinning picture in the background when she's giving birth, which I'm pretty sure was just they duct taped it to a screwdriver and started spinning it backstage.
Oh yeah, that's how you did that kind of shit. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Although I will say, like, they cut this, we kind of broke the 70s immersion a little bit, and that this was not. I don't think this was meant to break the immersion like everything else in this show. The CGI duck or pink thingy, the CGI stork.
Yeah, that was a bit. It was way better than most Marvel CGI. I'll give it that, but it was a little obvious.
Yeah, it's pretty really. I was like, I'm not sure if this was filmed before, because I know this show was filmed before the pandemic and then during the pandemic. I'm not sure if maybe they just didn't have a stork budget. You know, you just don't have a stork budget sometimes.
Yes, I do like how she kept
coming in and pooping on those LEDs.
Yeah, fair.
I do like how she kept trying to poof it away, and it looked like a comic book magic effect. God, what else is there we can touch on real quick before we get into the meat and potatoes?
The neighbors being a bit suspicious. I feel like there's some Truman Show thing going on around with them.
Especially when we have all been going like, oh, it's Agnes Harkness, Agatha Harkness. You know, she's probably like in control of this somehow, and she's freaking out just as much as Herb.
Yeah,
and I think my current theory, just due to the way the episode ended, I think Wanda is not in control of what's going on. It's someone we haven't seen yet, but they are using Wanda's powers to control it.
I have a feeling it's more along the lines of she's been put in this situation sort of against her will, but Vision's here and she's happy, so she's going to protect it as much as she can because, she needs a little happiness in the world.
And she straight up cast Geraldine out when Geraldine started trying to push.
Yeah. And to be honest, I really hope I really don't hope it's I really don't hope it's Ultron. That's what I'm trying to say. Like I get it, you know, he's one of the biggest villains, but come on, he's had his time. Maybe he can be like, I don't know, if you want to be tacky, son of Ultron or something, just not Ultron, please.
No, the thing with that is I'm cool with Ultron coming back as many times as possible in the comics. When you're in a movie universe and you have finite time with all these actors, one and done.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they decide to make like an Ant-Man or something like that kind of TV series where you can go like, oh no, here's Ultron.
That could
like
be cool.
a mini Ultron, like, not as big of a threat.
You know what would be interesting? If it was Joe Costa.
I have no idea who Joe Costa is.
The bride of Ultron.
Ultron wanted a wife, and Hank Pym said, all right, will that make you stop killing people? I'll build you a wife. And the wife went like, yeah, no, ew. And she became a good guy Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Comic books. I can vibe with that.
Yeah.
And she's also based off of Hank Pym's wife.
Janet Van Dyne.
Janet Van Dyne. So there's a weird Oedipus thing with Ultron there too. So
yeah,
and she really thought comic Hank can't get any worse.
Hank Pym is a fascinating character.
He seems like it. Very interesting man.
But Joe Costa was also an Easter egg in Age of Ultron when Tony's putting the Friday AI in his suits. One of the little hard drives that's there amongst Friday says Joe Costa on it. So there's potential there. There's potential, but I don't know. Speaking of Geraldine, by the way, because we were talking about her a minute ago, I found out the other day that her actress is originally from a city that's 20 minutes from me. She's like the third person Marvel has cast who was like a young up and coming actor from the South Carolina area. Much in the same way as Chadwick Boseman and one other person whose name I can't remember.
Interesting.
But we keep saying her name's Geraldine. Remember, that's Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, they haven't revealed that yet, so I'm trying to go with what the shows do.
Yeah, but they've announced it during D3 or Disney Cons or whatever it is.
Oh wait, are we talking the one that Wanda cast out?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's Monica Rambeau. Oh. Okay, again, I don't really. It's been so long since I followed the MCU. Oh my god, I need to do a lot of catch up.
Well, last time we saw Monica Rambeau in the MCU, she was a little girl in Captain Marvel.
Oh, I thought it was. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought that was the other. I thought that was the other.
No, that's her mom. That's her mom.
I thought that was her mom. Okay, that's interesting.
That would also explain the Sword connection because Sword is also heavily tied in with Captain Marvel in the comics.
Yeah. Oh my god, the last episode's going to be so satisfying when we finally get some answers. Just of all the speculations, what's going on?
I have a feeling we're gonna get most of the answers the second to last episode, and the last episode's just gonna be all right, here's the Marvel budget. There you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
By the way, we're so enamored with this thing in this podcast so far. Every other review I've seen of this thing is it's too boring. It's too simple compared to the rest of the MCU. It's too different. And I'm like, what did y'all expect? What?
Exactly.
We're getting exactly what they pitched us. A psychological drama set within the superhero universe.
Mm-hmm.
That also happens to be a very fun sitcom on its own.
Yeah. Almost as if that's where superhero comics work their best magic is when they go, all right, we're in a superhero universe, let's tell a completely different story. Immortal Hulk is a horror story.
Yeah. I've heard amazing things about Immortal Hulk. Really need to get on that.
Great Lakes Avengers is an amazing comedy series. Same thing with Howard the Duck.
Superior Foes of Spider-Man is one of my favorite superhero parodies within the
I've heard
structure of the
so many good things about Superior Foes, mainly from Professor Thorgy. I really need to get on that comic one day.
Funnily enough, that's where Nick Spencer really got his start in Marvel.
Yeah. Kind of funny how he did Superior Foes first, and now he's headlining the main Spider-Man book.
Oh, and it's a great Spider-Man book right now.
Although I saw the new suit, it was a bit meh.
I have not seen the new suit.
We're gonna have it for 6 months, and then it's just gonna be DLC for DLC for video games from then on.
Yeah.
So they can sell new Marvel Legends.
Yeah.
It's literally just there to be more unlockable fodder for Spider-Man 2, which I'm okay with because I love unlockables instead of paying DLC.
But no, that's all cool. Okay, here's the thing: we've still gotten more hexagons in this episode.
Oh yeah, hexagon. Hexagons are aim related, right?
They can be, but I have a different theory. That's just a remnant trauma of the Infinity Gems. The stones. They're stones in the MCU, not gems.
Everybody must get stoned.
Kevin Feige is a stoner confirmed.
420.
Blaze it.
Kevin Feige, when we getting Frogman?
When are we getting Frogman? He has a Marvel Legends. Now put him in a show or a movie. But also, you know what the big thing about this episode that we haven't even touched on yet?
The
twins.
I've been prepping for this. Kinda. I've actually just been thinking about it, not been prepping, but thinking and prepping are different things.
First question, Boingo. Are their names Billy and Tom in the comics?
Why, yes, they are.
Excellent.
So,
okay.
So
Shut up.
Wiccan and the
Speed.
Quicksilver Son confirmed?
Wiccan and Speed, that's their superhero identities.
Confirmed.
Yeah, and Tommy is Speed, and he was the first one out.
Let's go.
Oh, okay, real quick on that idea, because the twins had an accelerated pregnancy and everything. I have a theory.
Okay.
There were rumors that the MCU Quicksilver and the Fox Quicksilver were on set doing stuff. My theory, my thought is, what if they aren't coming back to play Quicksilver? They're coming back to play accelerated adult versions of Wiccan and Speed.
Oh,
that'd be sick. That'd be sick, honest. I always love when actors they come back to a franchise, but they don't play the same character. They play a completely different character.
yeah, that'd be like how in
Sentai does it.
And CW Crisis on Infinite Earths, when they brought back Brandon Routh as Superman, but he was Kingdom Come Superman.
Yeah. Sorry, I haven't followed the CW stuff. Like, I dropped off hard after.
I literally check in on it once a year, and that's it.
Yeah, I heard that Crisis podcast, and it just sounded like how I sound when I talk about superhero Tyson.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to be the permanent actors for Wiccan and Speed. I think it's going to be like they're accelerated within this fantasy world, and it's
they
like
get out of the fantasy world and they're babies again.
Not necessarily babies, but like, okay, here's the weird comic book bullshit with Wiccan and Speed. They were babies, but they weren't real. They were just kind of like magicked up by Wanda, and Wanda was told quit that. She did, but they wiped her memory about the whole thing, so she forget about it and not have trauma. But then later on, she remembered, and she was like, yo, fuck my friends for doing this to me. It's kind of fucked up. And then she went like, you know what? Everybody deserves to be happy. House of M. And in that, she had her kids. She was happy. Everybody was happy, quote unquote. But after House of M was ended, and she did No More Mutants, the multiverse reality kind of shifted things around so that her children, Thomas and William, their souls were kind of sent back in time, reincarnated as two completely different two completely unrelated people who looked identical and grew up into Wiccan and Speed.
Huh.
So spiritually, in the Marvel comics, they are Wanda's kids. On a genetic level, they aren't, because they're children of these random ass couples.
What the hell was Marvel smoking? But I want some.
Also, Wiccan is gay, so technically the third, fourth gay comic book character.
Interesting. Hashtag
I mean, he's a baby.
Taylor Johnson needs to kiss a boy in this show.
Yep.
Where else was I gonna go with that? I had something else I wanted to say.
Actually, like what I think, I'm not sure. Like, I kind of think the babies they aren't gonna like. To be honest, I think the two kids. I don't think they're gonna transfer to. Like, I have this. I'm not sure if they're gonna. I know they want to like build Young Avengers, but maybe in the context of like at one. Yeah. I'm trying to say is I think they're just an illusion, and I think they're gonna disappear when this reality eventually breaks in half.
I mean, that was kind of the intent in the first place with the original version of the babies, but like when they're Wicked and Speed are like integral parts of the Young Avengers.
Yeah, so I assume they're gonna like make some like actually I just thought I'm pretty sure they want to introduce Viv later on. I think I could be wrong because it's inspired by Tom King's Vision comic. I'm
What
pretty sure.
What if in the actual universe they just go, Dad, we want a sister. And he's like, all right, I'll build you a sister.
That's totally gonna happen. I'm calling it. Like, in fact, you just predicted the future.
There were rumors of Sparky.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. So as I was saying, so with I think they might make like I think they might make Wiccan and Speed cyborgs. Maybe it could work. I think.
Also, you just reminded me by proposing that idea. I went and double checked. This episode is the first time in the entire MCU that the word synthezoid has been used.
Ooh.
Technically, it was used in Captain America: First Avenger on the marquee around the Human Torch,
but not in regards to Vision.
Right. I'm just saying technically that we have seen synthezoid before.
Interesting.
You do know the difference between android and synthezoid, right?
No.
Android is mechanical parts. Synthezoid is artificial biological parts.
Okay.
So Vision has a heart. It's just not made of flesh.
Because remember, in Age of Ultron, the way he was created was using technology that a random doctor lady was using to be a new way to repair injuries and stuff. Like, the movie opens with her using it on Hawkeye, and he's like, great, I've got ribs made of plastic now.
Yeah.
But that's just the only major difference, because there are genuine androids within the Marvel comics, and Vision is something different. They're treated as different things.
But also,
can we talk about that like sick camera change or not a camera change, aspect ratio change at the end? Where
so slick.
That was so beautiful,
especially with the monkeys playing on top.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but like, sorry, I'm not. Again, I'm such a zoomer.
But like it also immediately precedes my favorite part of the show, which is just people were complaining online that I forgot her name, but the actress who plays Wanda, she's not doing the Zakovian accent that she's been doing so far in the MCU in this show. She drops back into it when Pietro gets mentioned, and I was like, oh, that's such a perfect detail.
Ooh! I actually didn't notice that detail. Again, like I haven't. It's been so long since I watched anything MCU related that I don't even notice these details.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally just watching. Like, is it a good show? And it's like, yeah, it's a pretty good show.
Hey.
I mean, that's kind of I think the good thing about having this be so self-contained after having essentially a drought of MCU content for a year is it's not asking you to remember every single fucking detail of the MCU to get back into it. It's just saying, do you remember these two characters? Here's their story.
Yeah. This is my story.
Now here's the story all about how my life got turned upside down.
Here's the thing. I was going Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man 1.
I was going Final Fantasy 10.
Oh.
Different demographics, y'all. This is how podcasts are born.
I can't wait until they get to the 90s and they actually do a Fresh Prince reference.
I think they're gonna go do more Full House, but
I think they're gonna go more Roseanne.
Oh, was it just me, or was the house completely different this episode? I mean, the exterior.
They change the house from my eyes, they change the house every episode for different, they have a different set for like a different era from what I'm seeing.
I mean, the interior of this episode resembled the Brady Bunch house a lot.
The interior living room looked kind of similar to me to the 60s one, but the exterior, because they open on an establishing shot in one of those classic sitcom stings, and I was like, that's a completely different house. What the fuck? I don't know.
Yeah.
Trying to think, is there anything else we need to touch on?
It was another Hydra commercial?
Yeah, Hydra Soak.
Hydra Soak.
I was watching another Easter egg video going like, hey, things you might not have connected. Apparently there was an episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. where Coulson was in a different reality and conspiracy theorist thing. And he was saying, that's how they get you. Hydra puts chemicals in the soap to brainwash you.
Oh. That's a nice dig. That's like a deep dig.
It's probably not direct reference, but it's it's a wink and a nod maybe.
Yeah.
Well, still, they probably thought of it. Yeah,
that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. What else? Anything else? Yeah.
It's weird because it's half-hour sitcom style plotting, and it's kind of hard to pull a full hour-length podcast out of that.
Yeah.
But there are a bunch of Easter eggs and speculation we can make.
Yeah, that's literally like half the podcast is. It's just, hey, what could happen?
And and then you guys going like, Chris, is this a thing in the comics? Yeah, it's a thing in the comics. Here's the explanation.
Yeah.
Like, also another thing, we didn't get a era change in the episode.
No, you're right. Because at the point we would have had it, that's when we got Geraldine being casted out.
Yeah. I think we're gonna get an off-screen era change for episode 4.
Yeah, I think so. I figure that's what's gonna happen, but it was just like, oh, we didn't get an on-screen one, which would have been interesting to see.
Yeah.
Do you know what the 80s one is gonna be like?
No, I think if they're doing 80s, I think they're gonna be more of like Family Matters, Full House. That's kind of the era that like.
I think that's more 90s, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I was thinking Family Ties.
No,
Michael J. Fox.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking of Michael J. Fox's sitcom in my head.
Yeah.
I mean, Full House started in 1987.
But everybody thinks of it as a 90s show.
It really hit its stride in the 90s with like syndication and all that, but that's the point. Yeah. Can we wrap up?
I guess we can. We could go ahead and end this podcast right here. So why don't we go around the table and link our shit like the disgusting whores we are. Buster, be a whore.
All right. Hey, I'm Buster Corp. I do videos on the internet like everyone else in the internet does, I think. I just released a video on why the Teen Titans series finale, Things Change, is brilliant. Please check that out. It's actually doing very well. And it's doing very well at the moment, so I'll be happy to get more support. I should have another video should be out by the time you're watching this. I don't know what it will be. Maybe it will be that Dino Charge pitch video I've been keep talking about. And yeah, that's it.
Go watch their videos. Get it? Because you did a Teen Titans. I'm funny.
That legit didn't sound like a Teen Titans reference. It just sounded like, please go watch their videos. Like, just
go. Teen Titans, go.
Viewers, go. I don't know. I ruined it.
All right, Boingo, be a whore.
Hello. I am Chris Boingo Gaston. I do video essays and editorials. You can find me on YouTube at Boingo Writer. You can find me on Twitter at Boingo_Writer. On Instagram at Boingo_Writer. And you can join my Discord server. A link to that is in the description. I think that's it. Yeah.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm the Vacuuminator. I make videos. Yes, I do. I make videos. How about you go watch them at youtube.com/thevacuuminator. That's spelled TheVacuuminator. You can also find me on social media, Twitter at the Vacuuminator and Instagram at _Vacuuminator. And you can find more of our content on our YouTube channel. That is Modular Media on YouTube. We do multiple podcasts every week. We do this show. We do MMWP, our weekly live wrestling podcast. We've got another thing in the oven right now, and we've got a thing that's on hiatus right now, but we'll be coming back once this concludes. So definitely go like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell to enable notifications. Check out all that stuff. You can also find it on Spotify and Anchor and all kinds of other podcasting platforms. But if you want to keep up with everything we're doing, definitely follow us on Twitter at The Modular Media and join our subreddit r/Modular Media. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll see you next week when we'll be talking about the 4th episode of Marvel's WandaVision.
Yee.
Ba-dum-bum.
It's a trap. Get out while you still can.